There comes a point where trying harder stops working. Not suddenly and not all at once, but gradually. You're still showing up, you're still doing all the right things, still trying to stay consistent, but your body is responding differently. Energy comes and goes. Focus takes real effort, and recovery is just not happening as quickly as it used to. And for many capable women, the instinct is immediate. Try harder, be more disciplined, tighten the routine. Hi everyone, Michelle Scher here from Personalised Health and Wellbeing Solutions. What I'd like to offer you today is a different way of approaching that moment, because what's happening here is not a lack of effort, it's a change in capacity. And capacity is biological. At this point, your system has already been adapting to the load it's been carrying. Your nervous system has been responding to things like the pace of your day, how often you're interrupted, the number of decisions you're making, the emotional demands of your responsibilities, and the amount of recovery that you're actually getting. And over time, that load accumulates. Your system adjusts. It introduces coping mechanisms. It becomes more selective about where energy is going to be available for you. And this is why effort stops producing the same return. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your system is no longer operating under the same conditions. And this is where the shift needs to happen. Not by increasing effort, but by providing alignment. Alignment between your biology and your environment. Alignment between your rhythm and your responsibilities. Alignment between what your system needs and what it's being asked to sustain. Because when alignment is off, your system has to compensate. And compensation for your system can be quite expensive. It can drain energy. It can reduce consistency. It makes everything feel harder than you think it should. But when alignment improves, your system no longer needs to compensate in the same way. And that's when things begin to feel steadier, more reliable again. Now, it's not instant, but it is noticeable. Energy will become more reliable, more consistent. Focus will become much easier, and recovery starts to happen much more quickly. It's not a dramatic shift, and most women won't describe it as a sudden breakthrough. They'll describe it as something like feeling more like themselves again. And that's often the goal. Not to become someone new, but to return to a more reliable, a steady way of functioning, of getting through that day. Now, if this conversation is resonating, we'll be exploring all of these concepts much more deeply in our workshop next week. We'll be walking through why this shift happens, how to recognize it earlier, and the changes that will help restore that steady, sustainable energy. So May 28th at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, that's when we're having the workshop. If you'd like the details, simply comment aligned below and we'll send them through to you. That's all for now. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.